Something about love. You gotta want it bad if that. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI Definity DEVVE daCat update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Me too. Got good times. Anyway, we got a bit to go over today. I've had like people on the last several days, so this is going to be at least an hour of just news that we haven't covered. Today's Monday, so it's Friday. I think I have to go back to like Thursday. I'm not going back to Thursday is way too long. But it might be jobless claims, 208,000 jobless claims. That was the actual. Expected was 210,000. Feds Moran says that he's looking for a 1.5% rate cut in 2026. I think that once you get Jerome Powell out of there, you get like 100 basis point cuts like each month, like getting that bread. Congresswoman Nancy Mace says that Tim Walz was preparing to deploy Minnesota National Guard against federal agents. So remind him Donald Trump is commander-in-chief and federal authority supersedes state authority. That's not opinion, that's constitution. What Waltz is threatening has a name. It's called insurrection. Mr. President, the law is on your side. Use it. That is from Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Donald Trump says, I have been informed by the Department of War that defense contractor Raytheon has been the least responsive to the needs of the Department of War, the slowest in increasing their volume, and the most aggressive spending their shareholders rather than the needs and demands of the United States military. Raytheon seems to think that this is the Biden administration and this is business as usual. It's not. Either Raytheon steps up and starts investing more upfront investment like plants and equipment, or they will no longer be doing business with the Department of War. Also, if Raytheon wants to further business with the United States government, under no circumstances will they be allowed to do any additional stock buybacks. Where they have spent tens of billions of dollars until they are able to get their act together, our country comes first, and they're going to have to learn that the hard way. India's stock market records the biggest drop ever in over 4 months as U.S. tariff concerns resurface. Also, I don't know if I have it. I know I posted it on X. Everyone comment F down below to pay respects to the Iranian rial. Why? Because it's worth nothing now. The entire country is in an uproar. You have there was a TikTok I saw yesterday of this girl that is just like, hey, I went to Iran once because her family's from Iran. Her mom's from there. I think her dad. Long story short, the family's from there. So her and her mom went. And she said from the time that she landed on the tarmac, she's like, got this weird pit in her stomach. They took her U.S. passport. Like it was like a horrible, anxiety-ridden trip for her. And basically all that to say that just like, bro, like it is horrible to be a woman there. It's horrible. Like it's just, now again, that's from a girl's perspective. For a guy, it might be just a little bit better. But a lot of the people I'm seeing on Twitter, there's like, no, we 100% support this regime change. And whether that happens from the help of an outside government, honestly, if I were Trump right now, I know a lot of the Trump supporters like, yeah, go in, get them. They need this. And okay, fair point. The people need this. But if you remember that episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, they're having like a war council meeting where Zuko says like, listen, Uncle Iroh, you should be the one. Like you can defeat my father, your brother, and you would make a great king. He's like, yes, but if we do that, it would just be in family fighting, one brother trying to take over another. It has to be someone new. And I'm pretty sure the people of Iran, at least the older generation, haven't really forgotten what happened with the US and Iran in 1953. And I don't want that to be what people focus on if Trump goes in and gets Ayatollah out of there. I would like it if the people were to do it themselves. Now, can they get some help from that through an outside government agency? Probably happening right now. But officially, I would rather the U.S. stay out of it. Not because I don't want him out of there, not because I don't want the people of Iran to have this revolution, but because I don't want it to be, oh yeah, business as usual. Yeah, another thing that the U.S. did, toppling governments. I would rather it come from the people themselves, and whether the U.S. helps via CIA or via whatever, sure, that'd be great. But just officially, I'd rather it not happen. Anyway, VeVe Digital Collectibles saying, have a great stream, Randy. Why? Thank you so much. But yeah, everyone comment F down below to pay respects, because the Iranian real is dunzo. Is dunzo. What else we got here? Polymarket to distribute prediction data to the Dow Jones outlets. Trump crypto venture World Liberty applies for a bank charter. Good luck with that. EU DAC8 is reporting now active exchanges must share user identities and trade histories with tax authorities. That is coming. Do not think that you can get out of evading and now granted, a lot of crypto people out there, yeah, they've been going on and they've been not paying taxes for years. They will find out everything in the future, probably through the help of AI. Y'all are hecked if y'all have. I've seen what happens to people that don't pay their taxes. Now, granted, this is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're like, oh yeah, I owe like $10,000 in taxes, they're probably not going to come for you. Like, you're too much of a small fish. If it does get into the multi six figures, you're probably on the radar. If you get to seven figures, you're done. Like, you are done. IRS doesn't care how you make your money, what you do with your money. They just want their cut. Like you could make it through like nefarious means, and they'll probably hold that against you. Like, I give them, whatever. But yeah, guys, go. Do not try tax evasion. Like no one is big enough to get to fight the IRS. Even Joker says, I'm crazy enough to fight Batman, but the IRS? No way. So again, if Joker doesn't want to fight him, it's probably best that you don't either. Morgan Stanley plans digital wallet later this year to support tokenized assets. Let's go. Ironman616 reposting the stream. Bill Gardner says first, boy. Chillin' and Vibin says, hey, what's up, Chillin' and Vibin? We chillin', we vibin'. Pixel Pudding says, hi. Yeah. I love your potato. Who says, don't shave, Randy, let it go. I didn't mean to do this part. It was getting a little scraggly. It was getting a little, if I would do like sit-ups, like it just, I don't like it too messy. And especially, I'm not gonna lie, like when it gets too, I look like an illegal immigrant. I look like someone that ICE would come after. So got to clean it up a little. Now, obviously with this, I look really hella Mexican. I'm Peruvian, but you know what I mean. But yeah, you want to try to make it so that you don't make yourself a target. Now, that being said, I've been an American citizen for 30 years. I served in the United States Air Force. So even if they did kind of come after, I'd be like, oh, hey, check the ID. I still have my military ID. Not the cat card, but the green one they give you when you leave. So yeah, even if that mistake was made, it should be done pretty easily and undid. But yeah, just try to making it a little, little cleaner. I don't know what the girlfriend thinks of it. I'll let you all know. Vivek Ramaswamy says zero income tax, largest rollback of property taxes in the history of Ohio, bring standards back to public schools. That's just the beginning. Love that for them. Breaking $1.7 trillion Morgan Stanley plans to launch a digital wallet later this year to support tokenized assets. Bullish AF. Google officially surpasses Apple to become the second most valuable company in the world and at a $4 trillion market cap as well. Good for them. North Korean hackers stole $2.02 billion in cryptocurrency in 2025, a 51% year-over-year increase, pushing their all-time total to $6.75 billion, despite fewer attacks. They're getting good. And they're probably not just trying to get any Yahoo. They're probably really trying to go for you if you have, 6-7 figures in there. Obviously, once you get to a certain point, you can't help but have multiple wallets that are in the 6 figures. Luckily, none of my wallets are out of all the wallets I have. None of them are even close. Yeah, so that's always good. Hurry. This was the funniest meme I ever saw. Giants hiring Nicholas Maduro. Treasury Secretary Besant says millions of Americans may see the largest tax refunds of their lives this year. Turn on that money printer, girl. Turn on that money printer. U.S. Treasury bought back $2 billion of its own debt. Again, this was on January 8th. Very good. Very good. James, my man. Freaking love him. Sauer. Okay, Dan Williams. We might have a announcement. Dan Williams, CEO of FigPin. We might have a little announcement with them on Wednesday. We might not. I'll let you know. Keep y'all posted. I did tell y'all that daCat is going to be on FigPin. We're going to have daCat FigPins. I think later this year. I think that's I mean, contingent on the daCat comic selling out on VeVe, which it should very easily. And then I don't know how the physical comic will do. Like I said, I think yesterday before Bleeves came on, we're going to have an investor come in, raise money at a $300,000 market cap, and then we'll use some of that to pay for the physical comic. And again, it's not because we're going to make a ton of money with that. I'm not. It's just that it helps with top line revenue. It'll help really bolster the valuation of the company. And the next time we go and raise money, definitely over $500,000. I'd like to raise it at $1 million. I'd really like to not have to raise it at all, but you know, could use my own money for it. Really rather not. And then obviously some of the profits, they're just going to go to buybacks. I don't know how many burns we really need. I think the buybacks are really all you need. I don't know how many people even care about burns if it's not making if it's not creating buy pressure. I don't think they care. But again, that's why we're doing this. We got Jamar 1987. What's up, Randy? What's going on, Jamar? How's it going? Mr. MC1's legacy as a collector. I am but a custodian preserving the art in my collection during my life for the future to receive it in the same condition I got it. I want as much of it to have a provenance to preserve that legacy for centuries. A collector at heart, Mr. MC1_E. President Trump orders $200 billion in mortgage bond buys to lower mortgage rates. Good for you, Trump. The UK considers banning Elon Musk's X, the Telegraph reports, because they are very anti-free speech. Crypto stable, and what I mean that the UK is anti-free speech. X is obviously all about it. Crypto stablecoin transaction volume hits a new $33 trillion record in 2025. Kavi Gupta and Rewind Collective post about Frida Kahlo, and again, Rewind Collective mentioning VeVe NFTs on here, which I really like. They say that Rewind Collective is an activist art collective of photographers, fine artists, and digital creatives working to address imbalances in representation in the contemporary art field through the creation of the new digital artworks that respond to existing works from art history. The collective uplifts women and other marginalized groups within the field. The mobilizing theory of the collective is that technology can be used effectively as a tool to bring inequities in the art field and a focus for viewers, collectors, curators, and institutional power brokers. For example, the series Patriot deploys images of historical artworks and artists in their studios, digitally altering and blending them together to create minority artists who have been overlooked by the traditional Western art historical canon. Rewind Collective, Double Exposure, Frida 2, 2022, unique artwork accompanied by physical work based on the digital image contained in the NFT, VeVe. Also, taking a look at that, you got it's on Instagram, and Sergey Roberto, that has 8.2 million followers on Instagram. He follows VeVe. Oh, that was dope. Why so many? Figpin. Don't know. I have a screenshot of that or that or that. Oh my God. January 8th, there were 811,000 OMI burned. Good times. Have VeVe. It's wild that they want to have a bunch of their older Figpins to have a VeVe digital counterpart. You could get a lot of airdrops that way. You could have a lot of things. You could have Sonic the Hedgehog on VeVe. President Trump says the U.S. is taking billions and billions of dollars worth of oil from Venezuela. It could be trillions of dollars. That is great. Ugh. Oh gosh, my body. Ugh, my other body. For DEVVE. All right, let's go over some crypto here before we get into this. Let's go to DEVVE. It's not had a great day. Well, it's not had a great week, to be honest. They are up 1.5% on the day to 17.8 cents, $15.6 million market cap. Again, there's a buddy of mine, got in at about 20 cents, spent about $250,000. And what does he do the other day? Gives me a call and says, hey, can I get more? So we might do another deal where we get him a bit more. I have to let you know. Oh, epic. Let me know when you're going to show them so I can watch. I really like it when my friends do awesome stuff. So that means I get to do awesome stuff. Or at least I get to watch them do awesome stuff. Also, shout out to Miss Gecko for going in and reposting a bunch of my stuff, requoting it. She's the man, like Becky Lynch. Anyway, so that's DEVVE. Let's take a look at their volume that they had today. If I can find it. DEVVE is the volume of $404,000 in volume, down 43% on the day, so not a lot. And when I had Bleaves on yesterday, and actually I was talking to a buddy of mine today, we talked about some of the same things that me and Bleaves talked about yesterday, but it was more just, hey, when moon? Because I was with a couple clients and, just powwow. When moon? The short answer is we don't know. Could be in 3 or 4 months. It could be in 8 to 12 months, or anywhere in between. We still think that the lack of funding that they got from DevStream that they were supposed to get, I don't know, I think it was like $1 million according to the article. They could raise that pretty easily. How soon can they raise that? I don't know. But it doesn't seem like that's a really big number, $1 million. $1 million is $1 million, but I feel like that could be raised fairly easily. And again, Tom going over and saying a lot of positive stuff about FIAS and how they can bring even more value to the DEVVE company was really exciting. What's up, DAO? You're posting that stream, my man. Get that bread. Okay. So Tom goes over and says, somebody asked what S2 stands for. S2 stands for the sharding solution in amalgam and similar in nature to both S3, which is a storage solution, similar to the nature of the blockchain, and EC2, i.e. Elastic Compute Cloud. 2 C's equals C2, and you build applications on EC2, similar to DEVX S2. Top 21 Bitcoin holders of 2025. This is fun. Trump Media, Binance, CleanSmart, Cut8, Coinbase, China, Michael Saylor, Riot, Trim Draper, BSTR, Metaplanet, 21 Capital, Mara, United Kingdom, Winklevoss Twins, Mt. Gox Hacker. That is insane that Mt. Gox Hacker is number 6. Tether, Block 1. United States is number 3. Strategy is number 2. And Satoshi, the 3 people that Satoshi is number 1. But yeah, MicroStrategy having 672,000 Bitcoin. United States having 328,000. And they might be able to take a little bit from Venezuela. The top 21 holders accumulated about $40 billion worth of Bitcoin in 2025. So that's insane. And let's take a look. It was 356, 369, nice, 378, 4, 5. It's over 500,000 Bitcoin that was accumulated by just the top 21. Vivek Ramaswamy leads the Ohio governor's race by 8 points. I think we need him. Now, what's the best address? Okay. BlackRock and other ETFs have sold $400.2 million worth of Bitcoin and $160 million worth of Ethereum. That was as of late January 8th, early January 9th. Apparently, there's a Pokemon drinks where a Doug Trio is caramel vodka, Irish cream, and root beer, and whipped cream and syrup, where the Diglett is butterscotch schnapps, cacao, and cream soda. Yep, good times, trash cans, trash. Oh, Lauren, oh, Bay. I don't know if that's really a thing. 10 users made their first purchase this past week. That's not a lot. But what is a lot is the fact that we've had on December 31st and January 1st, 13,000 and almost 24,000 active users on VeVe. No, that's not real. I mean, it's real. It's just people got a lot of airdrops. People logged onto the app. Oh, I got an airdrop. What is it? That's pretty much it. Back to normal as always after that. 771 on the 3rd, 1136 on the 4th, and everywhere in between up through the 8th. Yeah. Unemployment came in at 4.4%. Expectations were 4.5%. Bitfinex whales are closing their Bitcoin long positions at very high speeds. This was as of the 9th. Last time it happened, Bitcoin pumped 50% from 74K to 112K, and it hit a new all-time high in 43 days. There's arguments for and against this. Oh my God. Protein is so good. What is the future? Oh gosh. Let's take a look here. President Trump to use alternative tariff powers if Supreme Court rules against him. Fair. On Stacker, you can now choose between providers to get the best rate when swapping OMI on Stacker. It's either 1-inch or Uniswap. U.S. Coast Guard snags another Venezuelan linked tanker. U.S. Coast Guard boarded the Palau-flagged Olina overnight near Trinidad, marking the 5th tanker nabbed in recent weeks. Washington's push to choke Venezuelan oil flows. The vessel was falsely flying East Timor colors after hauling from Venezuela, with U.S. forces mounting shadow fleet ships dodging sanctions. Olina just the latest, following a 2-week Atlantic chase for every trace of them. Get them. Rate cuts for the January 28th Fed meeting plummet to under 3%. We know we're not getting them in January. No shit. Tom, all right, you know, before we get to this, let's go over another crypto. My body. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put that on the back of this chair. Okay. Let's go over Definity. Because you know, Definity is something that we talked about with Bleaves Crypto yesterday, and it's something that he might be talking about pretty strongly about soon as well. And he might be doing something with them. He might be talking about them a bit. I don't know. We'll see. They had $1,100 in volume today, very low. 82,000 in liquidity though. Do they add more liquidity? I think they added $1,000. Good. $2.2 million market cap. Still very low. Still double the market cap of daCat. Little kitty over there, but yeah, 2.2 million for what they're doing. Like again, they're grossing, their top line revenue is more than VeVe's. And VeVe's OMI has a $45 million market cap, and Definity has more top line revenue with 2.2 million. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. But you know. I think at some point Definity, the token goes crazy. Obviously, the parent company DMA Link is freaking crushing it. I talked a little bit about that with Bleaves yesterday. Mostly, we just had to talk off camera because not a lot of this is public. And then yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my positions here. The token though, again with the clients today, this still has the chance to do 100 or even 1,000x as long as DMA Link doesn't get bought by a company that doesn't want anything to do with it. Like they get bought by another company and they still want the token because they want the community, they want, you know, whatever. That's great. That would be a big boom for them actually. Or do they get bought by someone else? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is really exciting. The 14U F98 says, do we think DEVVE can hit $40? Definity can 90 says yes, 100%. Definity 100x from here is just $1.43. Very easy to do. Well, I shouldn't say that. That is very, very, very reasonable to do. I'm not going to say easy, because that would make it a $220 million market cap for $1.43. But yeah. And then DEVVE, I think, goes to, what is it now? Let's do, where's the DEVVE at? $15.5 million market cap at 17.7 cents. Let's say 16 million at 18 cents. $18, that's 100x from here. That's $1.6 billion market cap. For what they're doing, 1,000x from here, make it a $16 billion market cap. Well within the realm of possibility. Both DEFINITY and DEVVE can both do 100 to 1,000x from here, in my opinion. And it could do a little bit more than that. You know, what's the go from 16 to 32 billion? What's the go from, you know, 2.2 billion to 4.4 billion for DEFINITY? You know, like these are, I think it's very reasonable for them to do that. Omar says, good evening. Do we think by end of year? I hope so. That would be great. How many millions of dollars would I have? Like, Jesus. Yeah. Even and for me, like, even if one of them went up first, like let's say, I don't know, let's say DEFINITY does a 20x first. And now, well, let's say I sell half at a 10x and the other half at, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I want to sell it 15 cents. Say I wait till $1. I got 7 figures in DEFINITY if it goes to $1. And let's say I don't cash out at that rate. Let's say I cash before. Let's say I have, let's say, like 700K afterwards. And if DEVVE's still down here, when I'm going to put a large amount of that into DEVVE, a large amount of that into OMI, to keep some myself. I'd wish but if that happens, if DMA Link gets bought, like, my God, I got, what's that song by Brendan Urie? Because I got one more run and it's gonna be a sight to see. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. I got one more year, I think, of this, where all of my capital is just tied up in the shares of these companies, and it's fairly illiquid. And again, I could in the next month take a 66% hit on the value of my shares in a certain company, net 167K, and chuck that into crypto. But there's no reason to. Like, I have a really decent crypto bag already that's in that 6 figures, and it's just, yeah, I could double my positions. I could almost double up my positions in OMI, DEVVE, DEFINITY, daCat. I could, but at this point, like, I've put so much into these tokens already, and the thing that's grown, the thing that's made me a millionaire again, is not the tokens. It's the companies that I've been investing in. So what did George Knox say in Angels in the Outfield? I can't go from my best hitter to my worst hitter. I can't sub that out. You know, I don't, to take out of your best performing stuff, take a big hit on it, and then put it into your worst. I mean, again, it will turn around. And this happens every cycle, right? Every cycle you have people saying, like, oh, NFTs are done, this token's done, it's dead, it's not doing anything. And they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes in the business. And for VeVe, I have no idea what they're doing behind the scenes. I just know what they're making, or I know what they're grossing. And that's all I need to know. For DEFINITY, I actually, because I'm part of the company, I know much more, but yeah, this is huge. And also DEFINITY will probably, I'm going to say the announcement's going to be next week for DEFINITY. They do have an announcement. It's supposed to come out I'm going to say next week. And be advised, like, I did buy a little bit more. It had nothing to do with the announcement. It's just somebody yeeted like $4,500 worth. It caused the price to go down 20%. So I just bought the dip. You know, basically for if you own a company or whatever, you can still buy in normal intervals. So when somebody yeets a shit ton of the coin and it goes down 20%, yeah, I bought some. That falls within those parameters. I don't know if it happens by the end of the year. I'm hoping. I mean, I think a lot of things run by the end of the year, but it's possible that it's just Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, the top 10, 20, 50, even 100. It's possible that just like the top 25 or 50 tokens run. And okay, fair. We might have to wait till next year for a blow up top for alts, or a lot of it happens this year. And if it does, I assume some of our stuff will run. OMI to 4 cents. Yeah, it's hard. But 2 to 4 cents is still within my parameters. Now that is like a 200x from here, because we're at like 0.0016. We are very low right now. But again, we're low for OMI. Okay, we're at 0.0017 now, but we were at 0.00168 before. We're 17 now. And $46 million. The rest of like DEVVE's market cap will probably be more than OMI and Definity's and daCat's combined after it's all said and done. And they have like a $16 million market cap right now. OMI is, the price has been severely punished, but it's still at a $46 million market cap. That's still very respectable. So yeah, I think you could get cut in half again. Could be a 20-something million. Like you could get to quad zeros. I mean, there seemed to be hella buy pressure at 0.00109, because I remember going down there and then it got bought right the heck back up. And I accumulated. I did a good job. And Akuma saying, "What's up, man?" But yeah, like a 2 cents to 4 cents, you're looking at like 150, 200x, which again, I'm not saying it's impossible. I still think 2 to 4 cents, but you need the narrative. But again, VeVe's got so much money coming in, they're fine. Like they can survive until the narrative hits. Now the narrative might take several months, but it will happen, in my opinion. Anyway, go back to DEVVE for a minute. Where Tom says, "Hi, just wanted to give a bit of an update on status from my perspective. I just wrote a similar response to someone who's been a long-time supporter and admitted they felt worried about DEVVE right now, so I thought it would reflect some of what I told them here. The DevStream purchase not going through was admittedly a bit rough, and money that we were counting on coming in that didn't come in has admittedly slowed things down a bit. Similarly, one of the challenges with a product like DevExchange is that it is very partner intensive. Ray is good at building relationships with partners, more so than me, so that is a good match with them. Many of these potential partners are large companies, and large companies are notorious for slow business cycles. It's the nature of the path with DevExchange. If you want to build crypto exchange for enterprise TradFi, which hasn't been done before. Now, when are we going to get the DevExchange? They've been talking about this for a while. I'm not going to lie. That's probably going to be second half of the year. In my opinion, they could surprise us. Could come out in April. But I think the DevExchange, that might be middle to late year. Which is fine. I have enough, like, link down below if you want to sign up for it. So this is, but we've seen OMI run up, and when it does, it goes quick, like 100x in a few days. In 2021, yes, that was a one-time thing. Now we've had days where it's doubled. Yeah, because there's so, like, it's been so oversold for so long, and it could become even more oversold. But it's just, again, I have my 300-ish million. I'm good. I would love to get 1 billion. I think I can. Other stuff has to hit for other stuff has to happen again. And when I get paid on a certain thing, let's say I don't sell any shares right now, and let's say I wait till middle, and let's say Q3, I get paid out on something, make 400K on it. I'm not gonna lie, 200K is going into high risk lending. 150K, yeah, that'll go into crypto, and I can get another couple 100 million OMI. Because obviously I'll get other stuff too. 50K will just go to me just as a person, and just you know, spoil the people that I love. But for the most part, yeah, if I get an extra 100, if I get an extra 150K, split it. 30% DEVVE, 30% OMI, 30% DEFINITY, and leftover goes to daCat. Now, anyway, let's keep moving on. Some of the things we've been pushing forward on, I've been straightforward from the beginning, are innately high risk. It's always the case with early stage companies, but they're still in the works, and I'm optimistic Ray will find the right path to growth. That said, FIAS opens up an entirely new playing field for both the FIAS token and the DEVX DEVVE. Given FIAS, I'm as optimistic as I've ever been about DEVVE itself, in addition to FIAS itself. That is because I see a path to success in my direct efforts, where partners are not gating, and if FIAS succeeds, DEVVE will as well, because FIAS is going to be built utilizing DEVX. With FIAS, I'm going to give regular updates. I'm planning a play-by-play of growing the business where everyone can follow along and hopefully get some inspiration for their own business. Going very quickly, faster than anything I've ever worked on in the past. FIAS represents an entirely new way to grow software as a business, where I'm convinced that AI is the only way to grow a software business moving forward, and DEVVE is a software business. I'm posting this here in the DEVVE group to make the point that FIAS growth is equally important to me for both tokens, both DEVVE and FIAS. FIAS has enormous potential. It is not a pivot. It is where I've been heading my entire career. And I feel like it represents the way forward for everything, even in other paths, which again, to be clear, are still in play. Don't move forward in the original timeframes we expected. Use consensus across nodes. If any one node goes down or is hacked, then other nodes continue giving proper consensus. Longer term, for example, I envision creating shards that operate in industries and have permissioned industry leaders run nodes in the system. What else we got here? Appreciate the tone of the questions. The dev stream funding was disappointing. It was nothing to do with us or our actions. They made a mistake. They didn't get the permission they needed from their investor, unknown to us, and the contract didn't describe anything along those lines. On our side, we had a signed contract we reasonably should have been able to rely on. Beyond that, as you might imagine, I can't go into specifics or ramifications of it with them, as we'll need to work that out with them as best as we can. He says, I understand people's frustrations. That said, we've been on a path that is an enterprise business dev path, and that is innately a long-term concept. The newer path I'm on has some other exciting potential, and it is in parallel with Dev Exchange, so it's in addition to that ongoing work. I chimed in because I'm personally excited about DEVVE, given the new AI tools I'm using and how we can bring them to bear with DevX. I had a lunch meeting today with an investor, and I looked him in the eye and said exactly that. I know some people are worried, but I'm not myself, and I wanted to say so. God, I love Tom. I love that man so much. Such a good egg. Cause I got one more run, and it's gonna be a sight to... I know that song stuck in my head now. Appreciate the nice comments from these messages above. To be sure, I'm not commenting on Dev Exchange and their plans. Again, that's Ray's domain. They set their timelines on demos and roadmap. I'm simply commenting on the areas that I have oversight on and gave my personal opinion on DEVVE, given the things I'm personally working on. Love him. All right, Tom going in and correcting everyone. He says, I think some folks have taken my points out of context that I intended, so I'll just say it simply. With the developments in AI, DEVVE as a software company, plus its IP, which is important in this statement, has new opportunities and new paths to succeed that, in my view, can potentially have a fast track to success. No guarantees, as always, but all of the core principles we've been building on for the last couple of years are still in place. I simply had one member messaging me feeling worried, and I'm feeling positive about DEVVE itself, given the above statement. So I simply wanted to let others know how I'm feeling. None of the other points I described are new, such as DevStream. They are all things that were said before today. I said it in this chat because it was a DEVVE-related point, but one person's comment on another chat just now pointed out a number of people don't want to talk about FIAS here. I wasn't expecting that strong a feeling from some, given how I'm feeling FIAS will positively impact DevX and DEVVE, but it makes sense in retrospect. I'd already purposely moved FIAS discussions out of this chat, so let's keep it that way. Enough said on FIAS here. That said, I'll be discussing Dev in the FIAS group because FIAS is essentially a monetization platform leveraging DevX. So feel free to ask in that channel rather than this one for any overlap between the two for those that are interested. For those of you who understand the foundational elements we've been building, such as contingent transaction sets, fraud, theft, loss protections, bailment solution, tokenization through a RESTful API, devise, etc., and the global movement of TradFi into DeFi, and how our capabilities overlap with the needs that movement presents. Those are topics that will be part of FIA's ongoing growth and synergy as well. So feel free to join in those discussions type here, and anyone interested can delve into where I see overlap and opportunity. Moving on, we got Boo saying, any new hopium with OMI? Just gotta wait for that. Just gotta wait for that narrative to hit. Gotta wait for ETH to go to like 5,000. NFTs in general move. Liquidity goes from them over to digital collectibles, and that's where VeVe wins. Also, I don't know why, but I really want taquitos from 7-Eleven. I'm just craving them, and I don't know why. Anyway, again, there's no new hopium, I would say. But same thing. Yeah, NFT sentiment is really low. So is a lot of stuff out there. And again, what's the future for VeVe? Future VeVe, Mr. MC1 just had a space. I think a lot of it has to do with digitals. Is that going to be exactly what's going to go on this year? Maybe. I know we're going to have a digital daCat. We have a digital comic. We'll have a physical comic, and we'll have a digital collectible and a physical one on Figpin. And Love Zombie says, any thoughts on Lego X Pokemon Trio? Like $800, right? Many say it's expensive, but when divided by 650 with 6,800 pieces, comes out to about 9 cents a piece. I think I saw. Let me Google this real quick. A trio, I assume starters. I think this is it, right? It's the evolved forms of the first 3 starters. Like that is peak. That is peak. It looks so freaking cool. I don't know if they gave Blastoise eyes there. Oh, they did, like barely. It looks dope. It looks yeah, it looks fantastic. You know, Charizard's flying because he's got wings. Blastoise got you know, hydro pumping, and Venusaur's got his vines out for doing a vine whip. Now Charizard over here, he could be doing fly, he could be doing seismic toss, he could be doing. I'm trying to think of Gen 1 moves that Charizard can use with fly. Like there was no aerial ace, was there? I think there was Razor Wind. I mean, it's just, again, Charizard's not necessarily known to do a lot of flying moves. Again, seismic toss, which is technically a fighting move, but you know, they use that in the anime a lot when he goes around the world. Seismic toss. Yeah, that's how he defeats Magmar. I guess he could be flying and just doing a flamethrower from the sky. And Venusaur, even though he has his vines out, he could be doing like a Razor Leaf or powering up a Solar Beam, just having his vines out for defense maybe. But Blastoise is straight up, he's got those cannons packed, and he's definitely doing a Hydro Pump out there. Tuflu says, it's sad to see where we are now. There was a time of hope for VeVe and OMI where we could have hit 8 to 10 cents, and it felt comfortable. Now we need to pray for a narrative to hit for us to even hit. Listen, we still need the narrative to hit either way. I mean, we were in the narrative that time. Like when it was popping off, yeah, we were in that narrative. Now we're very out of the narrative. And again, 8 to 10 cents is still possible. I do not believe that I would put money on it if like, and if I did, you know, maybe I put like $1,000 on it, right? Like I wouldn't put an insane amount. But even for 2 to 4 cents, I mean, I just, you know, if it goes up to half a penny, you know, I have $1.5 million in OMI just from going up to half a penny. There's no reason for me to like really bet like that, but 8 to 10 cents, again, still possible. Odds probably less than 20%. I would say less than 20% odds. Maybe like 5 to 10% chance that you hit 8 to 10 cents. Again, it depends on how crazy it goes, how crazy it happens, how much liquidity. I mean, there's a ton of liquidity that's just waiting on the sideline. So the boom should be bigger than last time, but even still, like 5 cents is a lot. And I'm not saying we don't get there. I think we can, but just that 8 to 10 cents, 10 cents is a lot too. But if we keep going, like I know people are going to get in at like half a penny and they'll be excited about it, and they'll get in at 2 cents and be excited. And then I think if it breaks 10 cents, they're like, "Oh, let's go to $1." They won't learn really about like market cap. They'll just be like, "Yeah, it's 10 cents, go to $1." You know, and it definitely should not. Omar Loves Omi says, "Yep, that's peak and comes with a set of Kanto." Oh, it comes with the Kanto badges. That's going for 150. Oh yeah, what do the Kanto badges look like? Hang on. All right. Yeah. These are dope. Oh my God. You got the Boulder badge, a Cascade badge, a Lightning badge, a Rainbow badge, the Soul badge, the Marsh badge, the Volcano badge, and the Earth badge. My God. That is so freaking cool. Oh my God, that's so freaking cool. God, I want that so bad. But I won't get it. Why? Because despite how much I said I want it, I actually don't need it. Anyway, let's go back to some DEVVE here. I think this needs to be said. Terry N says, "It's clear many people have never been involved in running a business of any reasonable size. Once you get beyond a one-man band, there are people who work is delegated to. People have different roles. Tom and Ray have run this project for years. Tom is a technical one. Ray is a business relationship one. Tom has likely had minimal contact with the partner from the beginning. The core architecture has been sorted over the last decade. Now there are terms of handling smaller aspects of development. Everyone just assumes he does everything because he's the face we see. Right now, if he wasn't working on FIAS, he'd be sitting around twiddling his thumbs waiting for the next team meeting to provide guidance and make decisions. He's still doing that, but now also working on a project that could bring a lot of focus to DEVVE, and he's doing it alone so as to not to pull resources from the main project. No one needs to buy the FIAS token. FIAS AI will raise the whole DEVVE network boat, and thus the token along with it. People need to calm down, stop inventing problems, and worry about things worth worrying about." Fair point. I have to go to I Am Clow because he's got something that I needed to talk about. Very sincere reflection. Okay. And if Twitter would load his stuff, I would go. Okay, there we go. Personal thought, blockchain. This is a very sincere reflection, and I hope it's taken as exactly that. No more, no less. Sometimes the perfect solution is right there, staring everyone in the face, simple, elegant, and powerful. So why doesn't the world adopt it overnight? Because reality rarely works that way. Even in our hyper-accelerated tech-driven era, genuine adoption requires time. Time for infrastructure to mature, for understanding to spread, for trust to build, and for people to shift long-established habits. Consider this. Humanity couldn't jump straight from prehistoric fire to the electric light bulb without passing through candles, oil lamps, and gas lights first. If electricity and bulb had been invented a millennia ago, people would likely have stared in confusion or dismissed it outright. Context, gradual evolution, and readiness matter deeply. The same principle applies to truly groundbreaking projects like DEVVE ecosystem. The team has built something exceptional, an enterprise-grade, compliant, non-custodial infrastructure with lightning-fast performance, designed for real-world assets, and the seamless fusion of TradFi and DeFi. Yet large institutions, regulators, and widespread adoption move deliberately, often slowly and cautiously, which can feel frustrating. And then there are people involved. It's regrettable to see foresight giving way to impatience, greed, and the relentless chase for quick profits. Memes have turned long-term patience into something almost taboo, and after years of waiting, with real emotional stain that brings, some lose faith just as the pieces are aligning more than ever. But the fact remains clear. The project is fundamentally strong, the team is dedicated and capable, the vision is ahead of its time, and that's precisely why it stands to succeed in the long run. A powerful recent example is the appointment of Will Stewart to the Dev Digital Board of Directors, announced on January 29th and 30th, 2025. With over 30 years of experience in global finance and tech, Having raised billions and driven transformative initiatives, his role as chairman brings immense credibility, networks, and strategic firepower. This move is accelerating partnerships, capital inflows, and institutional adoption for DEVVE Exchange, and by extension for the entire DEVVE and FIAS ecosystem. DEVVE is far from over. In fact, it's only at the beginning of what promises to be an extraordinary journey. The foundations are solid. CASP and VASP licensing is progressing. The DEVVE Exchange launch remains targeted for Q1 2026. And as per the official site and recent updates, the broader macro environment, policy shifts favoring digital assets, surging interest in tokenization, and finally, tilting in favor. Wallets may be tested in the short term, but true belief is about seeing the bigger picture and enduring the necessary evolution. A light bulb moment for the wider world is coming, and when it arrives, it will be transformative. The community that holds firm will be part of something historic. Love it. Also, in that time, I think we had two little buys here. Yeah, two tiny buys, both for Definity. We had two buys, one $813, one $766. Then we had two sells, one of 206 and one of 1243. So it remains about even. The one that sold $1,200 still has, actually, they don't have anything left. They just sold their bag. Anyway, Omar says, Lego is awarding those that have 2,500 points to get Pokemon Center mini Lego building. Epic. Epic. Sorry. And that was that. So let's do daCat. I mean, we did talk a little bit about it before. I don't think it has any $629 in volume. So a little bit. Still $1.1 million market cap and $323,000 in liquidity. So I mentioned the fig pen, I mentioned the other stuff. It looks really great. Like the first 60 something pages are edited. It looks really good. But yeah, originally supposed to be like 24 pages. It's like 80 now. It's probably going to be 85 to 90. It's insane, but it's really good. I can't wait for people to see it. Can't wait for people to read it later this year. All right. Anyway, 113. That doesn't seem right. Give me one sec, guys. I got because today is not the 13th. Today is the 12th. And I do not believe. Okay, we're good. Let's see what we got here. Let's do OMI. About 52 minutes in. Yeah, OMI's down 4.5% today. 0001,698, $46 million market cap. Let's do the. Where's OMI at? 1.5 million in volume. The future of VeVe should be this digital. It should drive a lot of people to use it. When we have renting, which Dr. Collect has alluded to, he basically said they'll be renting. Now, what's the need to rent something unless there's utility for certain things? That makes it so that renting is top tier there. I don't know how they would let people, because if there's utility for something at Disney World, you'd want people to buy it, not rent it. And if you rent something, you're really just essentially giving it to someone. And people and the licensors don't collect their fee. But again, if you're not selling it, I don't know. I guess there might be something in your wallet. Hey, here's a rented collectible versus stuff that you actually have in your wallet that you own. I'm just very curious to see how they do that. I mean, maybe you have you can take pictures with it, you can do whatever with it. But I don't know how it'll show up. I think that'll be cool whenever they decide to do that, though. All right, let's move on. Ah, shit. Okay, we have a lot more DEVVE stuff to go over, and this is only Fridays. We're going to be here for 2 hours. About 2 hours, yeah. Because today's Monday. I'm not gonna do this tomorrow because tomorrow I have a OMI homie show. And then fudge. I have so many meetings on Wednesday, and then Thursday I have Zen on. Um, yeah, there's a lot. All right, let's get this read. Tom Anderson says, I think a big question and theme that I should address first is the question of, is Tom giving up on DEVVE? Had a couple people on our team message me that they are seeing queries about that, and of course not. This couldn't be further from the truth. I'm the CEO of DEVVE. I spent 10 years of my life building this, and I'm going to continue to push DevX and DEVVE forward. I'm fully committed to Dev, and I'm here to stay. I'm bullish on DEVVE sincerely. To be sure, I'm simply described another project that is built on DevX that I'm excited about. There's nothing negative to be taken from that. It is something that continues the path I've been pushing for the past 10 years. I got a note from Will Stewart Tuesday on exactly this point. He wrote, I mean, this is my reaction, is that all the time, development, investment, and commitment over the years you have made is integrating at a time when it could technologically only be integrated playing into one of the largest emerging global markets that ever existed. There's more to that, but that's all he wrote there. In that sentence, Will is talking about the connection between blockchain and AI. He didn't say, this new thing you're working on the past few months is huge. Rather, he said that all of the work we've been doing on the blockchain over the years can be leveraged in a powerful way. I see a few particular people in the community in other groups right now spewing the same nonsense they've been saying for months. People were banned in the main, I'm sorry. People were banned in the main chat for describing their conspiracy theories. It's really like conspiracy theories. Those gain traction for a reason across all categories of life and people. And just like anywhere, anytime else, it's not based on substance, but on string together theories that can change to fit the facts. Everyone needs to take a deep breath. There was too much pressure on a single narrative and event, the release of the large partner, and that is not the only thing going on. We thought in good faith that we would be able to announce it sooner, and we've been balancing saying what we can and can't say in general. It makes sense that there is fallout and low sentiment around that not coming out in the time frame that we originally expected, but the contract is still in place and hasn't changed. It's not the only thing at play here, though. This is how early stage stuff is. You shift as you need to based on the core principles that are driving everything forward. DevStream also admittedly threw a kink in the works and is also, again, something that you just move past. Not getting some cash in that allows us to keep pushing forward at a faster rate doesn't mean that we don't keep pushing forward. Of course we do. It just means that you adjust your plans and timing. But the fundamentals for the whole project are still there. I'll make sure that we put out a summary of progress on the Dev ecosystem platform in January, and folks can see where we are. I've said several times over the past few months that I've been happy with the progress on our platform and have been, and I am. I think that matters most is that we are one ecosystem and one unwavering vision. The vision hasn't fundamentally changed since the beginning. Both DEVVE and FIAS are equally important, and success for our strengthens the other. We remain committed to delivering long-term impact, and as always, I appreciate the community's continued support as we move forward together. Give me one sec. Slow down. Good. Promises isn't the right word. That's not how business works. The things we described in good faith on where we're headed, and a high-tech team pushes forward as quickly and strongly as they can. We are still doing so. Tom's, I will get information. Okay, all right, we're good. I agree. The core tech team. Okay. I think this is a good and valid point, but as I see things emerging, I don't feel worried about this. There's always a limited window of opportunity for any tech, but from what I've seen, the big players have ended up over the past few months, moving ahead in ways that make sense in retrospect. They're stapling blockchain onto what they already know and do, and it won't work. They're still going to run into the problems that we've solved. They're still going to run into the problems that we've solved, and the window of opportunity isn't closing as fast as I originally envisioned. Says we have to move forward. We have made material progress on the Dev ecosystem platform and are still in place while others have not solved nor can easily solve the main things that our place in the space and our role in the future, continued transaction sets, fraud, theft, and loss protections, bailment solution, etc. Tom says, I'm still here, always answering questions. There was a narrative about the partner that took a life of its own outside of positioning. I approved. But again, that's not the only thing going on right now. My opinion is to focus on the fundamentals, which haven't changed, and which can and are creating new opportunities for the overall vision. Okay, let me take some of this. Water's so good. Okay. I just spoke with Phil about this. He thought the updated roadmap story came from me, and I thought it came from him and his team. When some funding doesn't come in and you're resetting your own expectations and plans, it's not feasible to give the type of roadmap some people want to see. Again, I've been through this before many times over the past 3 decades. It's the nature of the beast with early stage tech, and no one needs to panic. We're still pushing forward on everything that's been discussed, and there are some new opportunities emerging. I think Ray and his team can give an update on expectations moving forward, and I'll continue to expand my plans as well for FIOS and DEVX. Now, to be clear, I'm not just saying FIOS, it is FIOS and DEVX. I'll make sure we put out information on the Dev ecosystem platform this month. Can't wait. He said, Tom says, I got off a regularly scheduled call with Will Stewart and explained to him this Telegram tornado, and he expressed appreciation for my efforts here and said, sorry you're having to deal with this. My response for reference was, it's actually not that stressful. If I didn't see a path ahead and things were actually falling apart, it would be stressful, but things aren't falling apart. We're just figuring out the best path forward. Love it. I don't know why, but there were 58 uncommon first appearance Spider-Mans that sold recently. Like that, like just 58 of them. I don't know who's buying up all the uncommons, but they were. Oh wow, that's a lot of. Sorry, Paul. Oh wow, oh wow. Sorry, I was just looking at something here. Phil. Oh, shout out to Elmon X for. Shout out to Elmon X for sending me hot sauce. There's only 40 of them in the world, so I haven't opened it yet. In case others open it, and maybe now it's like 1 of 20. But I want to. I'll let you know. Also, American Airlines teams up with Pecan Lodge to serve Texas barbecue on select DFW flights. Interesting. S&P 500 closes above 6,900 for the first time in history. Have a comment nice down below for the 69. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Howard Lutnick says that he wants the GDP on the blockchain. Why not do DEVVE? I think that'd be cool. Artifact, okay. Death Bunny says sometimes you got to let go of pride and move on. The last collectible sold on Candy Digital was December 16, 2025. Last time Candy Digital communicated via social media to its community was on November 1st, 2025. Last update from Candy Digital on Discord was September 24th, 2025. While all this was going on, VeVe recently celebrated its 5th anniversary in Vegas. Note, I also have collectibles on Candy Digital. Oh, you have their hot sauce too, huh? We both have hot sauce. That is 1 of 40. Let's go. Meow, 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 meow. Oh my God, that song is so stuck in my head. Sold for $15 million. A new world record has been set. A high-grade copy of Action Comics #1, the comic that introduced Superman, has sold privately for a new world record of $15 million, shattering the previous comic book high and surpassing the most expensive comic book ever sold. The deal was brokered by Comic Connect HQ, with both buyer and seller remaining anonymous. The sale beats prior comic record of $9.1 million for Superman #1 and tops the $12.6 million paid for 1952 Mickey Mantle rookie card. Jesus! Rated an exceptional CGC 9.0, the book has a legendary history. It was once owned by Nicolas Cage, stolen from his home in 2000, went missing for a couple of years, 11 years to be exact, and later recovered from California storage unit. After its return, it sold in 2011 for $2.2 million. This historic sale cements Action Comics #1 as the most valuable comic book ever and one of the most important artifacts in all pop culture. I had a buddy of mine that actually met Nicolas Cage at one of these like Sotheby's auction houses. He was there. He was cool. He was chill. He was a big nerd, just like us. Love that. Love that about him. Oh, gosh. I am fat. I am fat. Why am I so chunky? Yeah, I've finally been hitting the gym recently, and it's been good for strength. But yeah, I'm a chunky boy. I need to. I've really only had 2 meals today. One was 5 eggs, egg whites, a couple pieces of toast, and a protein shake. And the second meal was a rosbif sandwich with cheese, some honey mustard, and a protein shake. 2 meals a day, pretty high, and it's like 200 grams of protein in total, which is nice. I don't know how many calories. I'm too lazy to figure it out right now. I'd say about 2,000 though. So pretty low. I'll keep you guys posted on. But yeah, I got to do a lot of cardio tomorrow because my I am not so little around the middle. Okay, let's keep on going here. What are we on? We're still on January 9th. Jesus. President Trump calls for 10% cap on credit card interest rates. Yeah, that'd be great. 71. Finish line. This is stupid. That is retarded. You have somebody saying, it seems that others are beating DEVVE to the finish line. I guess we thought we were the only ones and thought we were going to be first. Not the case. I suspect more announcements from other companies before ours, maybe saving the best for last. Tom says, timing in business is rarely straightforward. I've been too early in business and things. My robotics company, we were 7 years too early, I would say. 6 months ago, I thought we were more up against the wall timing-wise, but with some of how I've seen TradFi is actually tackling moving into blockchain, I think we have more time, which is good. That said, we do need to move ahead, of course. We don't want to get left behind. The unique aspects of what we're doing and what we proposed isn't a big concept yet, but it will be, so we want to be the ones to introduce our strengths. But although you have someone named Giant Wookie saying, anyone has the right to be not happy with the direction of this project. Multiple times it was implied something big was dropping. Can't be surprised at all with people being frustrated. If the project delivered even the demo or something people could wrap their heads on, sentiment would be better. You're always going to have morons that like to troll and be unprofessional, but people want a tangible thing versus all the talk and what ifs on this project. I hope this is rock bottom for everyone involved in the project, and we are singing a different tune by March 2026. Tom says that's fair. I'll show last year's progress this month. Tom says, I love building things with our community. I hate VCs. They have terms that are not fair or interesting to me. I take my responsibility to the community seriously as well. For your questions, this point is for the tokens to remain as strong tokens with the utility, same as ETH, for example, so there's no risk of them being shelved, etc. The Harry Potter magic is contingent transaction sets. I still feel it's one of the most important inventions I've seen, let alone invented. That type of foundation is why I'm so optimistic on our future, despite needing to roll with the punches, and startups always do. Fuck. You have Tom responding to Night Shift saying, hey team, sharing the results of the recent community poll. Top priorities: 1, clear Q1, Q2 roadmap, 59%. 2, lending and borrowing demo, 48%. Mainnet timeline, 32%. Marketing and onboarding, 29%. Tom says, I mentioned in another post that the description of the roadmap in Q1 was a mistake. It didn't come from decision makers in the team. Phil thought it was from me. I thought it was from his team. Trying to be delicate given the high levels of emotion here right now. So let me say this first. We're still pushing forward on everything, but this happens in early stage companies. You hit challenges and you adjust how you need to move ahead. I think this should be a bit of common sense if you think through where we are. If we're slowed down by imminent funds not actually coming in, we have enough money to continue operations, but we can't move ahead in the exact same fashion we were planning. When bringing in funds, it's hard to plan precisely. Again, I've been through this many times. This is part of being early stage. My personal approach is to make sure that there are fallback plans as needed to make sure you survive through tighter times, and we've been building that for many years and have shown our ability to survive. I'll show progress this month. I agree with sentiments that this is important for folks to see. Mainnet timeline is like my first point, but I will point out that I'm building my effort around using it, so I don't have any long-term doubts on it. The marketing plan has lots of strong planning, as I understand it from Phil, so we decide that the path forward is to be part of it. but there are long polls we needed to put in place before finalizing his decision on this. January 9th, we had 1.5 million OMI burn. Let's go. Ugh. Oh my gosh, my body. Oh, my other body. Oh, okay. Let's take a quick little protein break there. Oh, geez, we're still on. All right. Discord, long time. Asking for a friend. Oh my gosh. Reach out, discuss, propose. Oh my God. California has a wealth tax that they're proposing, which is insane. Reed Hoffman says, Rep Kana reached out to me to discuss the proposed California wealth tax. While I'm against the proposed tax, I'm always open to dialogue with our elected leaders. The proposed California wealth tax is badly designed in so many ways that a simple social post cannot cover all the massive flaws. One well-documented example is the horrendous idea to tax illiquid stock in the proposal. Poorly designed taxes, incentive avoidance, capital flight, and distortions that ultimately raise less revenue. People who thought of this law is absolutely retarded. Trump is planning on eliminating all taxes on gambling winnings in the US, maybe crypto and prediction markets as well. That would be great. Okay, let's take a break from that real quick. And what is this? This is still on Friday. Jesus, today's Monday. Jesus, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to do Saturday and Sundays and then I'm done. Hopefully Saturdays isn't that big. It is. Sundays, not that bad. All right. Binance founder CZ says, while you were panic selling, US banks were loading up on Bitcoin. Yes. Yes, indeed. Now scared. Don't care about that. But your mother. Now people. Okay. This guy named Ben in the, before I get to that, Omar Loves Omi says the Lego would have been sold out and all but many 30th anniversary TCG clothing and other collabs, which is more hype, but great set. Agreed. God, Pokemon will be 30 years next month. I remember once when I was 15, there was this guy at the bowling alley that bowling alley in like mid 2000s was like a kind of a cool hangout spot because it was like bowling alley, some adults there, but there were like, they weren't your parents. It was just, it was just kind of get away. And sometimes the bartender let you drink. Anyway, I had just gotten done bowling and I was very, very good. I was on my high school bowling team for 6 years because I made it when I was in 7th grade. Varsity. And I remember one night, again, I was 15, so I was in high school. Might have been summer. I don't know when it was, but I just got done just shooting a 279. It was good, but not my high score. And also I had at that time like 50 of those. So I go down to a couple of friends that are there, and I was like, I just just shot a 279. They were in like this bowling league, and this guy had mentioned like I hadn't done that in, and he's like thinking like in his mind like when the last time he did that. I was like, what, like a year? And he's like 20 years. Like 20 years. At that time when I'm 15, I'm like 20 years. Like that is, I wasn't even born 20 years ago, and just seemed like such a long time for me. And literally as I'm telling you this story, that story was 20 years ago. And even Bleaves was talking yesterday about something. He's just like, yeah, 25 years ago, I was doing this, I was running this, I was doing that. And he was talking about like a board game or something. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, 25 years ago, I figured it was like 85. Yeah, before my time. And 25 years ago was literally 2001. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, time sneaks up on you. Like, Jesus. That's summer is my favorite time of year. And what do I have? Like a good 10 more summers in where I can just, take my shirt off and be like, yeah. look semi okay. I can figure after 45, honestly, after like 30, start to go downhill a little bit, right? Not all as we were, 29. But that's not a long time. When you count it by how many summers like you might have left, it's like, oh, that's rough. That's a lot. 30 years, Pokemon. Doesn't seem like it, right? I feel like I'm getting to that age where you may have less summers out there than you have experienced. Like, that line from Lord of the Rings, like talking about like the type of men that are coming here is like, some have seen too many winters or too few, says like a lot. And it's like, I feel like I have more summers and winters in me than I have left. God, this is wild. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That was like my was like my anthem for like years. Here for a good time, not. I'm like double fisting like all these drinks and all these guys. Like, there's an episode of Gilmore Girls where one of their beloved town members dies. There's a couple funerals in Gilmore Girls. A couple people died, and I think the guy's name was Stan. Throwaway character. I don't think anyone who was ever even on screen. But Stan dies, and Miss Patty's just beside herself. She's like, ugh. And then Lorelai tries to comfort her. Is like, you okay? She's like, yeah, just thinking about Stan and all this time, and like I'm getting on in years. My time to go soon. And she pauses, and she's like, I'm so glad I had all that sex. Like, damn, Miss Patty. Yeah, so glad I had all that sex. That being said, like I assume people that are 55, they look at me like, oh, 35, you're a kid. It's like, I don't feel like, sometimes I feel like a kid, but I look at some younger people in their 20s. I was like, I feel like Adam Sandler in Billy Madison, like, cherish it. You gotta cherish it because it goes quick. Fuck. Smart Buy said, sup. I don't know. I'm feeling, and I think I would feel better about it. Like, so example, you guys, every other Thursday, I have a show with my friend Zen. Ex, but still a great friend, lover. And she's older than me. She looks younger than me, but she's older, and it's like, I feel like I'd be dealing with aging a lot better if I just looked a little bit younger. But I don't. Barbara says, I'm at the age I'm fed up not having a bull run, and I really need one. Losing ambitions with time, not gonna lie. I understand it. Most of my friends are older, 40s, 50s, some 60s now. And again, they would look at me like, bro, you're a kid. Like, if I was your age, like, and I would do the same thing with people in like their early 20s, like, bro, if I was your age, yeah, different energies, different priorities, different ideals. In the grand scheme of things, figuring we last to 70, thinking I last till hopefully 60, but I don't know. I've had a lot in the military a while. I've had a lot to drink. I've done some not great stuff to my body. What's another year? And granted, we might have to wait a year and a half, whatever, whatever. What's another year? I mean, we've waited this long already. It's been 4 years of nothing but down. What, we have to wait another year? Cool. The song, not the song, the just the story of David and Goliath, where you get to, Goliath's this big freaking monster, right? He's got like acromegalia. He's like 6'9". David's the shepherd boy, and the army that's about to fight Goliath and his army, they're like, okay, if you're going to fight him, here's your spear, here's your shield. And David says, I cannot take it, for I have not earned it. Okay. I feel like maybe I'm the reason that we haven't had a bull market. Haven't earned it yet. I haven't, I'm still fat. I'm still not in good. I'm just still not where I want to be. Like have we actually earned the millions of dollars that we're going to get? Tens of millions for some of us. Maybe not. I feel like I've definitely earned it, mostly. But again, like, I'm still fat. I'm still, I was given this body, and I don't, feel like I haven't been treating it the best. I mean, I've been doing a lot better this past 6 months, but yeah, haven't been treating it the best. So rhetorical question. If bull run comes tomorrow and we're pumping for the next, 3 to 6 months, do you feel you would have earned every single gain that you would have gotten? Now, again, I have earned these multi-millions. I think, but maybe I haven't. How many more years? 1, maybe 18 months, maybe 24 months. I don't know. I'll ask Crypto Rain tomorrow, and he might say we start pumping in a few months, or we could, have one last shakeout. And there are people that believe we go down to 40K Bitcoin, and then we start the K-shaped recovery. But I don't know. We shall see. Who we got here? We got some notifications here. 51. Shit. All right, so this guy OMI Boy says, we're back to 51% of trading volume coming from Deepcoin. It seems that despite Collect Chain, Kraken, we're at the same point as we were 4 months ago. Sometimes I wonder, will Akomi ever reclaim its demand? And then 10 GSWBK says, Kraken will only help when new crypto people get here, and that will only happen after altcoin season has digital collectibles, will be one of the last narratives to run. Think of these improvements like good drainage. It means zero in a drought, but in a hurricane, it means everything. So I really like the second part, saying, think of these improvements like good drainage. It means zero in a drought, but in a hurricane, it means everything. Digital collectibles in the last bull market were the last to run. Does that mean it's going to be the last to run this time? No, but yeah, it does seem like if people are expecting it, well, they're expecting something, usually the opposite happens. And explain, so I took it, yeah. So that was, he tagged me in it, but 10 GSWBK made a good explanation there, so I'll give that a like. Oh, he tagged me in the 17 hours ago, and of course I didn't see it. Anyway, body fixing is easy for you, just don't feel like doing it. When we get millions, see the transformation at lightning speed. Trust me. I was just on the couch for like 15 months because my back was essentially broken. Then in late July, finally started getting better. I was able to do some walking. I was able to do some pull-ups. And then really in September, I actually started hitting the gym. So September, October, I think I had drank a total of 5 days in September and October. And then November, I'm crushing it. And then as I started crushing it, and as I thought that, we would have that DEVVE thing, I began to look for a forever bae. I began to look essentially for a wife. And, I'm out in Utah, I'm out in Vegas, I'm out in Arizona, Florida, Ohio, I'm in all of these places, right? And that like 2.5, 3 week stint, like I wasn't at the gym. I was just out on the hunt. And then I got sick, I got the flu, so I was down for like 2 weeks. So it's like, okay, so I was really down for like 5 weeks. I have a couple of gym days end of December, but and I skipped the first few days of the year. So I was kind of down for like a month and a half. Um, but better now. Not hitting the gym every day like I should because I'm a bitch sometimes. Um, yeah, but yeah, when we get millions, see the transformation at lightning speed. Trust me. Um, honestly, sometimes I'll just show you like September, October, November, December, January. Like I am so booked with meetings every day. Sometimes I just can't get to the gym. Um, Shout out to my girl that always compliments me on stuff. Love you, girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I look good. Sometimes I don't. Thanks for the explanation. Missed the tag. Yeah. I'd like to say that when everything hits and I have, more time, but honestly, yeah, if anything, and this is why I hunted for a forever bay beforehand, because like I'm only going to get busier. So that's not, yeah. Um, I've been, when I was sick, I just started a new Pokemon game, Pokemon Red. I think I had Squirtle, Pharaoh, and Squirtle, Pharaoh, and Pikachu. Just running it with those three. Squirtle's a Blastoise, Sparrow's a Pharaoh, and Pikachu's that I nicknamed Sarah is a Raichu. And I haven't been able to play in like 2 weeks because I'm busy like every second of every day. Um, yeah, I the cat's going to keep me busy. Like even after, let's say all these companies that I work with, um, let's say all of them get bought and sold, get they before getting money. Yeah, that's essentially what happened. After that, many will approach all of them. Dude, yeah. So as just even before YouTube though, like the I always did fair with women. Like when I was younger, I was a boxer, so I had a good body. And then going into the military, some girls just like the uniform. When I was in the veterinary field for the better part of a decade, and girls like, oh, you work with animals, they like that. But again, boxing, animals, the uniform, it gets your fair share of women. And then when I get out of the military, I go into finance, and then a lot of women with that. Like I've just been very lucky that I've been in things and professions that just happen to attract it. But yeah, the money and success on YouTube, that just amplified everything. Like, and it's weird. It happened when I was in like late 20s, early 30s. And that just happened. Like, it's so strange. I mean, now I'm with a girlfriend, so, but before the last month, it would be, what would it be? I get more women now, and before the last month, I got more women now that I'm older, fatter, and have less hair than I did when I was younger in my 20s, and I was just better looking, super cut body. Like it's very strange, and women just like success, and that success opens up a lot of doors. And yeah, most of those doors are good. Some of them are bad, but yeah, most of those doors are good. And But I'm not gonna lie, I do envy some of like the guys that don't have it, because it's like, okay, maybe they only have, 10 or 20 girls that, to choose from. And then finding the best partner for you out of those 10 to 20 girls is not that hard, because like, okay, well, these girls are uggos, these girls are blah, 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 and then you really just get them down 2 or 3 girls that you're just like, okay, pick one of y'all. But when you have an insane amount of options, and it's like, God, like, are you being real to me? Like, are you being genuine? And sometimes they're not, and sometimes it takes a while to figure out. So yeah, that gets really stressful. And then again, you're human, so sometimes you're the one that messes up, and it's like, okay, I tried it. This girl I thought was awesome, didn't work out, and this one's on me, because of X, Y, and Z. You have that, and then other times it's just on them. It's just like, hey, you should have done better. Like this is not like how old are you? Like what are you, like 12 making these mistakes? Like no, like you're an adult. Should have acted like it. And again, sometimes it's on me, sometimes it's on them. I would like to think that a lot of it is because of them. Mike Jones says, I'm an ugly old man, I have 0 options. Mike Jones, I don't know how old you are, but I think you said the other day that your predictions were always right. So wow girls with your predictions, and then do magic, show them some magic. And listen, dude, like, let me show you a picture. Not bad, right? Actually, let's go even further back, like a few months before then. Kind of cut, right? Let's go even further back. Ignore the purple-haired girl. Oh, Lilith, I loved her. Still love her. She's a friend. See the abs through the costume, right? Legit was a stripper for multiple times. Okay, can I find a fucking ab photo, please? All right, this isn't an ab photo, but you could tell pretty lean there. See a little ab shot. There's better ab. I don't know where the fudge these pictures. Oh, my friend. Oh, my other. Oh, my babe. Oh, hello. Forgot about that. All right, so this one was in my 20s. Still not bad, but still not the best. Again, this was in military days. But I'm trying to look at where the heck is it not in. All right, let's just show this one. I clearly don't have abs like that anymore. I wish I did, but I do not. I don't work as hard as I used to. Am I 55 with a beer gut? No, but I'm telling you, it's all about confidence. It's all about being. Take away YouTube and take away most of the success. Be unique. Like, oh, like why are some girls? Why do they date musicians that haven't made it yet? It's because of that potential, and they're passionate about something, and they're good at something. Always right. So again, if you're passionate about something and you're good at something and just unique, like I wear cat shirts. I'm wearing a freaking flying monkey shirt right now. You know? Um I listen, a lot of girls, like, I don't like to tell girls about, what I do and the success. And honestly, most times I don't need to. So I just talk frivolously about Pokemon and My Little Pony, and just like girls like that you just don't change for them. Like girls like being told no to. Girls like being like when just don't chase them. Just be unique. And now, granted, I go for older girls. I've only dated like 5 girls in their 20s. Because the rest, like in the last 16 years, I've only dated like 5 girls in their 20s. The rest have been 30s, 40s, and 50s. Why? Well, I mean, one, those girls are attracted to me, and I guess I them. But yeah, maybe I should make a video about this. Just, I mean, if you're younger, it's a lot easier. Okay, like start a YouTube, like get followers, start a YouTube channel. Like, I guess if I'm younger, I would say TikTok or Instagram. Those are the bigger ones. But again, YouTube, worked well for me, and I'm not like freaking Antonio Banderas or anything. When I was younger, But anyway, let's get back. We've taken enough of a break. Let's get back to some of our stuff here. Oh my god, how freaking hot was I? All right, let's get this bread. Where were we? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far. Okay. Binance founder CZ says, while you were panic selling, U.S. banks were loading up on Bitcoin. Oh, I think I read that before, didn't I? I think I must have. Oh yeah, Action Comics. Okay. Good morning. Meow. Partnerships. Okay, read about those partnerships. And potential. Okay, we got this guy Ben saying, Tom, people are scared that the partnerships end like the DevStream one, with one day a message saying, we thought we could, we tried, but it's over. And I get it. There's not much you can do or say now. I know hope is not a strategy, but that's all we have left, it seems, at this point, because truth is, it could end up like that, and we wish it won't. That person clearly has no vision. Tom says, I understand. I know this is real and not a game for folks. The bottom line is that, like all early stage businesses, we might fail. And that goes hand in hand with higher potential level of upside. That is innate, and if anyone ever describes it differently, they're lying or being naive. That said, things aren't falling apart, and there is time to be able to succeed and new opportunities to grow. I'll mention the conversations I've been having with Will Stewart again. I go through things twice a week with him, and he and I are both very excited for where we're headed. Ray is meeting with investors, and perhaps things still go as planned back in June. Perhaps things grow in a new way. Perhaps both. I get if some folks don't like the delays, and shit. And I spent a week with him, and he and I are both very excited where we're headed. Ray is meeting with investors, and perhaps things go as we planned back in June. I get if some folks don't like the delays, and I'm not hitting the roadmap milestones in Q4 2025 is too much for them. Everyone has to make their own decisions on their risk levels and tolerances. For those that are long-term believers in the project and what we have been doing for years now, we're not going away, and we still have time to take our unique technology and make a success. We need to get funding in place to grow things as we were planning back in June. Ray is working on that. That said, there are new areas of growth and new ways of funding that I'm pursuing. We have funds to maintain in the meantime, and we made tremendous progress on the DEVVE ecosystem platform that is nearly ready to go. I've been very good in my career at that, and I'm confident in it. Funding I bring in will allow the mainnet launch of the DEVVE network and could also be integrated with the launch of the DEVVE ecosystem platform as well. I'm discussing planning around that with Will. Before I move on, Randy, you did not look my comment yesterday for obvious reason. Just asking again indirectly, those big names not buying any more. All right, so listen, you commented that when Bleaves was on and he talked for like 40 minutes without taking a breath. You mentioned Mr. MC1 and Foster and a few others not really buying anymore. I'm assuming, if I'm taking you at face value, and I'm assuming you're looking at their wallets, you're looking at their wallet activity, like what they've been, if they haven't been buying, what were they buying beforehand and what had stopped? For Mr. MC1, I'm assuming he was buying MC1s. For Foster, I don't know what he really likes to collect. Although Foster, I think, is like a level 90 something, so he's collected a lot. Mr. MC1's been a level 100 for forever. I know Rolex still collects, so I'm pretty sure you didn't mention him. There's a lot of big whales that definitely still collect, but I know you mentioned MC1 and Foster. I don't know which other ones you mentioned. And again, I didn't mention because there's most comments I didn't get to because again, Bleeds came on and we talked for like an hour just about other stuff. But again, if two people like if all, and I know you mentioned more than two people, but if it were two people like that, if the entire business rested on two people buying, that's not really much of a business. So no, I don't think that Mr. MC1 or Foster stopping buying really means anything. But what it does mean, okay, there's probably not much that they really want to collect. Maybe Mr. MC1 or Foster aren't, maybe they respect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but maybe they just weren't a fan of it or didn't grow up with it, and they're like, yeah, and it just wasn't for them. I'm trying to think of other stuff that's come out recently. I can't. Yeah, it doesn't really mean much. They're still making the money that they make, and that's that. And directly, those big names not buying anymore. Should I be worried? Again, I assume there's others as well, and I assume you're looking at their wallets, taking what you're saying at face value. Other reasons why they might not be buying. I know Mr. MC1 is starting up another company. I don't know what it is. He seems to be busy with that. Foster, obviously working for a Comey. He's probably just wanting to buy more OMI. I'm just assuming. Again, I don't know. I haven't talked to him about this. Me and Foster are friends, but I'm not gonna lie. What we talk about, yeah, sometimes it's VeVe's like, hey, I like this. Hey, what do you think about that? But it's that. Like, it's not like, what are you buying now? What it's not like. Listen, you don't keep your friends in high positions if you constantly try to fish for information. So I don't do that like ever. If Foster wants to bring something up, cool. If he doesn't, then I don't push for it. And I've never needed to. A lot of times, and it's nothing to do with Foster, but people that I interview, they'll tell me something on, say something online, like, and when we're just talking afterwards off camera, we're still on camera, but the live streaming done, like, hey man, you asked about this. I couldn't tell this online, but privately, here's what we're doing. Like, oh, okay, nice. VeVe veteran says, yo, what up, VeVe vet? Marlo2661 says, how much OMI do I need for women to start taking notice how rich and successful I am? Give me a number. Probably not much. Listen, girls are very simple creatures. Act uninterested, have another woman, and have a good car. If you have those three things, that's it. If you act uninterested in them, if you are around other women that clearly like you, and then having a cool car, that's it. And listen, to be around other women, you don't need to be banging them. Like, you just be like, I have a lot of friends that are women. Some of them happen to be pretty good looking. If you go out for a night and you're just hanging out with a couple of girls like that are just your friends, see how many other girls in that area, especially if they're good looking. And I'm not saying like don't just have good looking friends just to do that. Like, don't do that. But if you happen to have a couple of good looking friends that are girls, invite them out. Like, hey guys, I want to try something. I want to talk to you about something, and hang out, go to a bar, go out for a night. See how many of the other girls look at them, and then look at you, and then trying to figure out who is he with, who's whatever. Why are these beautiful women that are all having a good time hanging out with them? Like that, like that's it. And honestly, there are a lot of times where I won't even notice it because again, I just don't try. I just, if you don't try, and sometimes you're a little bit mean to them, that's all you need. That's literally it. So having a good car helps. It shouldn't, but it does. Have a good height, have good hygiene, have a good haircut, like dress well. You don't need a ton of money or success. Like it's all you need is a bro. I love you so much. Put a spoiler on my 2019 Nissan. How will that be considered a cool car? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Holy fuck! Why are so many people messaging me right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just get all of them like in a row, and I just get like destroyed here. And I click on something, and I don't. I don't want to read them. So yeah. I firmly give me 1 second. I gotta answer this. Time over. But we hit before then. It doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, I think it's a cool car. 2019 is not bad. Nissans are cool, sensible. Like, does it look cool? Well, I mean, I feel like that's really young stuff. You might be able to get a younger girl with it. I don't know how old you are. But honestly, dressing well, and it does like honestly, work out, get in good shape because like, dude, when I go out, like everyone's got beer guts, everyone's just fat, and it's just, dude, just work out and be strong. Like, be strong, like work out and be strong. Have a cool car and wear clothes that complement your body. Have good hygiene. That is literally like 85% of the battle. Do you know how many dudes that I used to serve with, like active duty military, that didn't wash their ass? Like, and I told this story to a friend not too long ago. And it's weird. I got a TikTok of it the other day too. It's just like this girl that's in like Austin, Texas. And she's just like, you want to know how my dating life is going? And she says, like, was with a dude, went back to his place, noticed he didn't have any body wash. It's like, she brought him some body wash the next day, and then she noticed that he hadn't used it. And he's just like, yeah, I just use hot water. This dude straight up wasn't even using soap. Not washing your ass is one thing. And she's just like, yep, that's how my dating life is going in 2025, 2026, Austin, Texas. Like, again, get fit, get strong, like just go to the gym. Have good hygiene, wear decent clothes. That is literally like maybe 50 to 60% of it. Then get a cool car and be a good conversationalist. Be fun. Be like, and make money. Make money. Go in and put in $20 into the jukebox. Take it over. Put in a bunch of cool shit. Put like, again, like what type of girls do you want to attract? Put songs on from the last like 10 years. Like, I love Blink-182. I love Green Day. I love Avril Lavigne has some new stuff, but I love those bands. I love, MCR. But if you want to get a younger girl, like, again, let's say, I don't know how old you are, but let's say you want a girl in her 30s. Yeah, okay. Play Ocean Avenue, play Simple Plan, play that. But, if you want like a younger girl, play Sabrina Carpenter, play Chappelle Roan, play Taylor Swift, like play some of these like newer songs. And then again, be fun. Like just be chill. Be a good conversationalist. Be like, hey, how's it going? And just Yeah. It's silver. It's like 70,000 miles. Vehicle. Yeah, it's a decent car. I'd buy it as a used car. I mean, not right now, but when I was younger. Sheesh. Um, why do you even need this cell? Um, remodel for meow 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 number meow 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 meow. Okay. Let's go back to Tom here. I was clear on my position with respect to DevStream. We had a signed agreement and thought no fault of ours when they didn't follow through with it. You're making assumptions that are on the border of inappropriate accusations, which I won't allow. We brought in money from many sources, mostly equity investment over the past year, and I believe we'll be able to continue doing so. I need a bit of time to reset after the DevStream disappointment from about a month back. Saw a couple of your other posts, so this is the final warning. I know people have a lot of emotion right now, but you can't cross lines making accusations. DevStream didn't follow through on the contractual obligations. That's it. Funds were supposed to come in much earlier. So it was a multi-month process where the whole time we thought funds were going to be transferred within a week along the way. Some development of this on hold, blah, blah, blah. I'm as optimistic as ever about our future. It would be dumb at this moment in time to say so if it weren't true. Instead, I would simply take a different approach altogether on the comms. There is more to dev than just one narrative. Will Stewart feels the same way, by the way, and he's seen it all over his career. Jesus, I have so many more. Want to be careful? Whoa, when is this from? Without going into specifics. Christy says, Tom, without going into specifics, you had mentioned that the other potential partners other than the main partner that you were possibly even more excited about. Could you elaborate a little bit about why? Were you more excited because they seem more like an even better probability of becoming a partner? Or because those potential partners could mean more interesting work for you personally? Or because of where these potential partners can take the whole ecosystem? Any further insight at all, I'm sure would be welcomed by all. Thank you. Tom says, I want to be careful in answering this, but I also understand people want an understanding of what's going on overall. The reason I want to be careful is people jump to so many conclusions one way or another, or both, but it seems when I say anything, Ray has described to me a number of potential partners that has spoken with him. I've not spoken with them, so I don't know the details, and they are not signed contracts, but there are other big companies he has talked with that would move the needle. I don't want to elaborate because I don't want to start another generation of speculation that takes a life of its own that leads to let down on assumptions that are incorrect and outside of my control. My original statement there was partly to make the point to everyone that not everything is riding on one single partner for us to be successful. Fair point. And if you had the money today, you had in 2021, and you had the option to reset starting today, be true where you would have to reset starting today, be true where you would put your money as per today. I actually am worth more now than I was in 2021. But if let's say I only had the amount of money that I had in 2021 to invest in here, and also it depends on when in 2021. I had maybe $500,000 in early in the year, and I had over $1 million late in the year. But let's say $500,000, and again, I have even in late 2021, I have more money now than I did. I'm worth more now than I did in late 2021 by a decent amount, by hundreds of thousands. But let's say I had 500K, where would I put it in? I would say, yeah, I would say split 133K 3 ways: DEVVE, DEFINITY, OMI. Maybe I would do, because again, I don't know what runs first. Let's say I do 100K in each of them. And then from that, Let's pretend I'm not allowed to get access to any of these companies. So 100K in each of those. I have 200K left. I do 50K into FIAS, 50K into daCat related things, and the extra 100K I just throw into high risk lending. That's probably what I do. Let's say I had 500K, 100K into each, both DEVVE, OMI, and Definity. Let's pretend I'm not allowed to get access to any of the shares from any of them. Then I get, out of another 100K, half into FIAS, half into daCat related things. And then the last 100K I just put into high risk lending. Hey, Cass, hey, Randy. Good morning from India. Let's get this bread. I love this game. What part of India are you in? And how far away are you from Rajpipla? Because there's a buddy of mine, Prince Manvendra. He's invited me to be his royal guest there, and I told Sanjay about it. And there's a buddy of mine that I told him, like, hey, if, me and a friend, we go to India to meet this guy. Like, do you, would you like to see if we can have room to come? He's like, oh my God, yes, Randy, I would love to. So then, a bunch of people, because he's from, I don't know what area of India he's from. His name is Sunir, something. And when it came to it, it's like, hey, like, he doesn't have like this much room, like in like the palace, like we have like a bunch of, and he's like, no, that's okay, Randy, I'll just stand in the corner. I was like, you can't just stand in the corner. He just wanted to be part of it. But yeah, if you're already there, we'll do a meetup. Let me know how far away you are from Rajpipla and what part of India you're in. Okay, we got a little bit of a Definity buy. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Let's see how much Definity we got here. I was also a little drunk. Okay, I was very, like, how many people bought me drinks that day? Everyone. The Definity buy was quite low. $288. Okay, anyway. We did. I remember being in that back room. I think we had espresso martinis. It wasn't in the back room. There was the bar, and then there was another room, and then the back room. And yeah, I had a lot of people buy me drinks. So that was what I love about New York Comic-Con. Oh, wedding season. Okay, gotcha. About Ninja Turtles. Okay, yeah. Okay, very good. Yeah. But that was my B. I forgot. Small, Kathy Wood. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Donald Trump says, please be informed that we will no longer let the American public be ripped off by credit card companies that are charging interest rates of 20 to 30% and even more, which festered unimpeded during the Joe Biden administration. Affordability, effective January 20th, 2026. I, as President of the United States, am calling for a 1-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. Coincidentally, the January 20th dates will coincide with the 1-year anniversary of the historic and very successful Trump administration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. There is Craig. How do you spell Craig with an egg in there? Alex Schillen, that has 182,000 followers, was hosting the space the other day, and VeVe Collectibles promoting themselves, saying VeVe Official is where the world collects. Yeah, that's dope. Love it. Delhi, when Tammy suddenly got interested too, and I told David to join too, he might be coming to India soon. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Tammy's also. She's super sick right now. Let me go text her. Like, how you feeling? Let me take a picture of that. Tammy would like. She likes to be mentioned. We have a group chat. We gotta. Tammy getting mentioned on that chat. Be like, y'all want to go to India? Anyway, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Well, I would love to introduce a couple of people and all that jazz. Let's go. Hello, Randy. Oh, he got back to me. Very good. Very good. L, correct. Very good. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that I haven't. Tom from DEVVE says, in fairness, we've had mainnet live and running consistently for 6 years now with usable applications. We just haven't had the mainnet running in a way that includes third-party applications. But also for reference, I'm building all of my future plans around this being the case, and I'm in control of making it happen with no third-party dependency. I'm going to give information about the DEVVE ecosystem platform this month. I was happy with the progress over the past 6 months, and I'll show why that's the case. BJD, not sure who he is, but is #1 on the leaderboard this year, followed by 10 GSWBK, and then also followed by blah. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says tokenized stocks will be huge. Huge, I agree. Bro, look at how cute Foster is. Look at how adorable that man is. Heckin' adorable. Meow. U.S. government issued a red alert. Get out of Venezuela immediately. Armed socialist collectivos thugs are setting up roadblocks, hunting for American citizens and anyone who supports the USA. They're searching vehicles, looking to kidnap or worse. This is what happens when you let commie dictators like Maduro run a country into the ground. Total chaos, violence, and now they're targeting Americans. Jesus, I gotta take a picture of this for Thursday. My God. Ron English has his 8th record coming to VeVe. Dr. Bub Quack explains the nature of opportunity in the revealing song. And oh, what it is to live as a duck, swim like a swan, and walk like a schmuck. That is clever. Got that. ChatGPT. Jesus. Oh. Look at this was like 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 4 years ago. It was a while ago. Oh, miss my younger me. All right, ode to Todd Batman. Buddy of mine bought it all together now, number 1923, for 3,000 doll hairs. Good for him. Tom Lee's Bitmine has now staked $3.3 billion worth of Ethereum. He says highly undervalued, according to him. Sunday, yesterday. Oh, okay, that's yesterday. Okay. All right, we have a little bit more to go. We have a little bit more. I know we've gone 2 hours, but we have a little bit more to do. Let's get rid of that. Go over here. Okay. All right. I was gonna take one last swig of protein, but I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of my liquids. Can't say that. Don't understand exchange. Fudge. Okay. Tom says, appreciate the note. I think a time when emotions are high, my time here is valuable, even if there's some repeating. I'm looking to be straightforward so people can make their own risk level decisions, but also I'm looking to emphasize that I'm excited where we are headed. There are other long polls than a VASP license. This isn't my direct area, but as I understand it from Ray, if there is a need to get a license quickly, then they can buy a company with a license as a fallback. Other than that, they have a plan for direct licensing in other areas, but this is just one aspect of an overall larger plan and strategy. A guy named Salim says, what I don't understand is that the exchange is supposed to launch in the second half of 2025, which is between June and December. That means the development was in its final stages, but now what I understand is that the exchange is far from finished and still needs a lot of work. Tom says, we had a 6-month plan in June of 25 that seemed reasonable. I've described in detail in past posts, but the TLDR is that a number of things changed, including things like funding levels, the markets, growth in TradFi in general. This is how early stage companies work. We put out a good faith plan, and then you adjust that plan as you need. We hit some big milestones like the testnet launch and made great progress on the DEVVE ecosystem platform. That was largely to plan. Not ready. The team Maple Group. It's a logical flaw to handpick a project and say they're successful. Why aren't you? We are building a platform that solves big problems in the space, and there are going to be plenty of competitors in the space that find their niches. We have contingent transaction sets, fraud, theft, and loss protections, a strong bailment approach, our sharding solution, etc. Different companies have different levels of risk and different best case potential. I like where we are strategically and where the markets are and our long-term potential compared to others. Markets being down mean they can work longer. This guy named Freedom Bump saying, I remember when quant went to $16, then down to $1.80 in 2019. The community was in despair and things took longer than the community wanted. Then it ran to $455 later. The same with Tau. It went down to $110. It went to $110, then down to 26. And also the community was freaked out. This is amazing buying opportunities if you had the balls and conviction. Sometimes things take longer than we think, and that can be frustrating. But if you still believe in the project, these crashes in price are blessings in disguise. Let's support the team, each other, and our own investment so that we can all have a bright future together. Thank you, Tom Dev, for all the time and energy, blah, 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 blah. January 14th, join VeVe and Whatnot at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on, 14th. I'm in a meeting at that time, so I won't be able to do it, but I will still put it on there. Whatnot, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I unfortunately won't be able to join because I'll be in a meeting, but good for them. Slowly starting to get the body back. Slow but steady. Oh, Jesus. Still in yesterday. Shit. This is a big one. Give me 1 second here. Tom Devi stuff, one of our... I don't know how this is gonna... I have to pee. There's a small Definity buy. Let's go over the Definity buy first. $521 hairs. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Nancy May says, a young father wrote me tonight. Oh my God, my son just told me how he wrote a paper about 2 genders and sexes, and the teacher told him he was wrong. Get your behind elected and get these creeps out of here. I just can't believe I have to go up there and deal with this. I won't stand for it. South Carolina kids first. Love you, Nancy Mace. She's the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep it down. All right, this is from Tom. This is a long one. Tom says, one of our community members who I respect and who I have seen has consistently had a good pulse on what are main things to focus on over time, put this summary together and asked me to review it, post it, and I thought it was a good idea. It's a summary of things I wrote over the past few days. These answers are paraphrased from my answers, but I have reviewed them and they're accurate. I'll pin this and can add to it as well. Impromptu community AMA. I probably should have done this from the start. The following is a consolidated blah, 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 blah. FIAS AI, the DEVVE ecosystem community. You recently announced the FIAS AI platform. Does this mean you're pivoting away from DEVVE? Is your focus now entirely on a new token? No, absolutely not. I'm the CEO of DEVVE and remain fully committed to DEVX and DEVVE. I founded both FIAS and DEVVE concurrently and see them as deeply synergistic. FIAS is being built on DEVX. If FIAS succeeds, it will drive volume and utility directly to the DEVX network. I'm not going to lie, this is all stuff that I had just covered. So there's actually no need to go over that. Potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. No King's financial record have been released, and here are the top financiers. Arabella, Warren Buffett, Ford, Rockefeller, Soros, and Tides, for a total of $300 million. 2 negative numbers. Trump is seriously considering military action and airstrikes on Iran. Comey, there's more providers, better rates, more OMI in your pocket. On Stacker World via Base, gas is sponsored, making OMI the only token you need to tap to the world's largest licensed digital collecting ecosystem. I'd tap that ecosystem. You can submit, nope, can't go over that. 4chan. The famous 4chan predictor has predicted Bitcoin 190,000, ETH 15,000, and Sol 1,000 in 2026. Oh my gosh. I want to go to Comics and Crypto and see what their poll is at, because they put out a poll on what you'd rather have, Bored Ape Yacht Club or 140 results, or 19% said Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the other 81% said AF15. Obviously $19,000 worth of AF15s is what they meant. I don't know why this showed up on July 4th, but this was my. This is me and my friend were goofing off on the flight line, and we just happened to have not from here to eternity, just a Titanic moment. Jack, I'm flying. Federal prosecutors have opened inquiry into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. We talked about that yesterday. Trump says credit cards, blah, 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 blah. All right, we're getting close here to the end. Pentagon comes to SpaceX. Elon and Hegseth to meet tomorrow. That means today. I wonder how that went. Pete Hegseth is pulling up to SpaceX's Starbase in Texas to talk to the workers. Elon's going to be there too. The visit is part of the Arsenal of Freedom tour and follows Hegseth's call to action in defense of execs at Fort McNair last fall. It's also stopping by Lockheed Martin and Fort Worth, might be part of a bigger military tour. Trump says Venezuela is really working out well. We're working along really well with the leadership, and we'll see how it all works out. Venezuelan VP Delcy Rodriguez has been very good. She asked us, can we take 50 million barrels of oil? I said, yes, we can. It's $4.2 billion, and it's on its way to the United States right now. Eric Trump says money is about to rotate out of gold and into Bitcoin. Remember when he said it's a good time to buy ETH at $3,000, and then it immediately ripped to like 1,400? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Me and my friend Field. It was in Kuwait. January 11th, 1.4 million OMI burned. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I got stuff to do. I gotta bounce. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And everyone say goodbye. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you all. Never mind, I'll